sometimes people make their trauma so much a part of their identity that they can't see the silver lining. They can't ever see the positive side of life. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I've spent many years working with people who have mental health challenges, and I want to take some time to talk about trauma. And I feel like, we need to talk about it because that's, you kind of see a lot of content on trauma, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, dissociation, all this other kind of stuff. And sometimes people make trauma too much a part of their identity. Stay with me. I'm not saying that trauma isn't serious, because it certainly is. I certainly know that. I've been working with traumatized individuals for many years now, but it's okay to release that aspect of yourself and to take a step back, right? And sometimes people just sort of hang on to it so tight. So I'll give you an example. For example, online now, you have people that sort of identify themselves by their diagnosis. That's the first thing they say. I'm neurodivergent. I have ADHD. And that's sort of their response or their rhetoric for everything. And I'm not saying that those things aren't serious, because they certainly are. But be careful not to make your diagnosis, and I want to make sure that it's an actual diagnosis, because sometimes it's not even an actual diagnosis. Sometimes it's something where people have gone and read something, or they've taken a quiz, and so they sort of self-assign something because they feel like, oh, this resonates with me, but they haven't actually gone to a medical professional. But be careful not to make your diagnosis, not to make whatever traumatic experience that you've had your whole identity, because sometimes people can get lost in that for years. And when we get lost in and I'm not saying that once again, I'm not saying these things aren't serious. I'm not trying to minimize that, but I'm saying there's other facets of life outside of your trauma. And sure, all of those things have been impacted, but you never want to lose sight of that or take on something, because sometimes people can identify so much with pain that they refuse to see what the other side of things can be for them. And it's because that identifying with that pain fulfills a need for them. Okay, I'm going to be the one who continues to identify my hurting, but I'm going to stay in this hurt place and not ever allow myself to come out of this hurt place. So essentially, it becomes a form of re-victimization continuously, every day, all day, throughout the day, every thought. And so that moving on almost seems to be impossible or unbearable. Or there's the other thing that people will do is they won't ever consider other possibilities of things. So, multiple things can be true at once. Two things can be true at once. Everything doesn't have to be black or white. There can be shades of gray. And so all other alternatives can and should be considered so that you can move forward and move on with your life despite this thing, despite this diagnosis, despite this bad circumstance that you encountered. Your life doesn't need to stop at that bad circumstance. And unfortunately, for some people, a lot of times for people, time just sort of stands still and they stay in that. And that so I would say for those kind of situations, allow yourself to consider other possibilities. Allow yourself to receive help from other individuals who can actually help you come out of that. But be intentional about moving forward and not making one part of you your whole identity, if that makes sense. So in another thing, so I think, I'll just stop there because I think you guys get the gist of what I'm saying. And I know that some people won't agree, but hopefully you guys can sort of hear the message.